Yes.
Okay, I'll chuck it in the comments.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Someone's just already asked, where's the live?
I know. All right, hello out there. I am trying to balance in between sunlight and enough shade to be able to see the screen. This screen is not really built for being outside. This morning, we're going to continue our little journey on all things energy. I like to, some days we're bashing your ear about the need for physicality and getting outside and getting your own, good natural chemicals running through your body, of exercising while I'm waffling on, giving you a long-winded version of what's going on. Some days it's intellectual, where we're trying to teach you what I'm learning in some base level constitution. Some days it's financial, trying to talk about the Ponzi scheme. Some days we're talking emotional. And other days we're talking spiritual, which we believe is energetic. And so we've got some wonderful people here today in response to them choosing to reach out and want to help out for our Real Farmer community garden. So that was how this, and then we worked it out in between that we actually had purchased a lot of the products that we already had in our house from these guys anyway. Well, Leah knew that, I didn't. So Rod and Rachel are going to come forward today. They are from the Sacred Knowledge Energy Tools. They've got a website, a Facebook, they've got a shop, and we're just going to rip in and talk about what we've got out there that doesn't involve taking a tablet to try and offset some of the synthetic infiltration of this world. So I'll bring Rod forward now, and forgive me if I'm clunky because, like I said, I'm having trouble even seeing my mouse. Hello, good dawning. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
Got a couple of products in front of us there. So just kick us off, mate. Where'd you start this journey? Where did the two of you? So I think Rachel's going to be in the background, is she?
Look at I think it's around about 211, 212 when it really started. I guess it was. Well, we were living in Victoria back then. We're in Queensland now, of course. Been here for the last 7-8 years, but yeah, it was just a bit of a whirlwind journey where we sort of suddenly started waking up to things that were happening, and started off in Victoria. They started putting in the smart meters and stuff, and that was an instantaneous effect on us, so we could feel it straight away. Just headaches, and everyone was complaining about it. And then started to notice the chemtrail stuff and the changes with the weather and everything else, and I started watching a few videos. And back then there wasn't that many people awake to stuff, but yeah, a lot of people thought I was nuts, but I started looking deeper into it and started looking at things like orgonite and whatever, and I reckon it changes the molecular structure of water and changes it from an acid to an alkaline. It knocks out EMF. It put it on your smart meter, and it changes the one that transmits the radiation, but also lowers the consumption of energy because you're not losing what they call dirty energy. So it cuts back a lot of that loss of energy out through power points and wiring, etc., etc. So and I thought, well, this woman sounds like she's off a rocker, but who am I to say? I'm going to make some of this stuff and I'm going to give it a go. And I built a cloud buster, I think, first up, and then some orgonite, and yeah, I put one outside, and Rach called out to me. She's out the clothesline, and it was an overcast day, and there's this great big bloody blue hole opened up above this thing, and I've gone, holy shit. Then we made the orgonite, put them on these smart meters, and our power bills dropped from like $1,200 down to $100 and something, I think it was, from memory. I gave a heap away to people to try, and they were getting, some of them were even getting checks back because they did a lot of estimation back then. And most people who were high-end users, their bills were cut in half, and I thought, wow, what the hell? Then we went on to do further tests with plants and the effect on plants and water, and our daughter, even, which was at high school then, she did an experiment at school. She had to do a science experiment and got flying colours and A+ for it because it blew the science teacher away. She changed the water from an acid to an alkaline just using orgonite, and they just couldn't figure it out. But anyway, so it sort of started there, and then I got introduced to tensor tools. Basically got shown them how to make one ring, which was just a little finger ring like that.
The smaller version
And,
of that. Yeah.
smaller version of that, half size of that. And there really wasn't much information out there. It was really hard to get the information. No one or anyone who knew anything about it wouldn't give it out. So I hooked up with a few different people. Brian Besco in the States was one of them. He was he started probably about a year before me. I started, I think it was
2013 we
13,
started playing with it.
212, I think it was. 212 I started playing. Anyway, I started making a few pieces, started with the rings, and then it moved on and eventually got into making the harmonisers, learned a lot more about Slim Sperling and all the devices that he invented, and went from there. We right down to inventing all our own stuff now. But these tools here, these harmonisers, was one of Slim's biggest, I guess, creations. It was a unit that basically transmutes the pollution and crap in the atmosphere, but also promotes the growth of plants and
Healing the body.
basically it clears the soil, the air, the earth, and used it for healing the body as well. Did a hell of a lot of healings on people with these, but they can be plugged in. I mean, we change them to be able to plug them into a frequency generator or an app on a phone, and so you don't have to listen to it because the sounds aren't particularly great. But he used to just play a speaker, well, sit in front of a speaker or put little headphones in it and do it that way. But we upgraded it, put a Tesla coil inside it, and so when you play a square wave frequency straight into that Mobius, it basically creates life force energy or scalar wave, which in turn knocks out or scrambles EMF. You see the lines in the sky, the ripples going across. That once you're running one of these, you start to see it all getting scrambled because it creates like a crisscross, and it starts all fading out. So
Yeah, I think
it's when I come up there, we're going to head up your way in a couple. We've got a couple of claims up there, so I'll although usually you've got pretty good skies most of the time, but I'll give you a bit of a hands-on demo anyway. But
because
so they do range in sizes from the little tiny little units, even smaller than this one, right up to the big Vipers, which these are full on pretty much full on assault weapons for fighting geoengineering and big storms. Yeah, so there's the little ones that you can put in your car like that. You can tune your radio to the classical station and it'll work. I've seen people. I've done it myself. Just had nothing else on me at the time and just nothing to plug into the little harmonizer I had there, and I put the radio on the ABC bloody classical because I knew classical music worked, and bang, the sky just opened up. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll interject for the people that are new to this stuff too, because obviously a lot of people, the algorithm leads them to me because I'm blah blah about politics or blah blah about geopolitics, and then every now and again they catch me talking about this sort of stuff, and if they're not ready for it, it's quite. But so the way that I explain it to people is like, if science made it to sell it to you, you're allowed to believe in it, even though you don't understand it. So this conversation is something that not one person on this call will be able to explain how my voice and face as a vibration, comes out of this thing invisibly at the speed of whatever to wherever to come back to you to be able to be reconstructed. We just do that because we paid for it. It's allowed to be believed in. But if you were to question the same type of energetic principles or vibrational frequency principles in what you're talking about here, people start going, and I go, well, okay. My wife used to say, "Can you hear a dog whistle?" And we can't, because it's not on the level that we can, but it still exists because the dogs can hear it. So does it exist or it doesn't exist? Can you see the microwave heat your food, or do you just see your food spin around and then suddenly the particles are agitated to be hot? Not that we have a microwave anymore, but people are prone to believe that which they're sold, and anything that is not by the mainstream sales pitch is something that they immediately put into the woo woo. Doesn't what he is talking about. How could you control weather with frequency? And I'm like, well, look up HARP and you'll understand pretty quickly.
Look, I'm a show me sort of person. So I mean, and I'm also, being a Liberal probably doesn't help, but I'm a very truthful, and I would certainly hate to say something to anyone that was not true, but that which probably led me to doing so much of my own experimentation before I even made anything, and put it out there.
Yep.
Even if it's a new device, I mean, I put it through a lot of testing. Sometimes it'll be a year before I even bring it out. But yeah, I was the same. But to begin with, when I first heard about all this stuff, I was like, but then there was a side of me that says, well, hey, I shouldn't judge. I should test this for myself, So I can understand that. And one of the phrases I always say to people, well, you can't see electricity, but would you put your finger inside the power point?
Yep.
We know it's there. Can't see it.
That,
and I mean,
and
there is a lot of documented stuff. Like Slim he had access to some of the best scientific machinery available. He had a lot of friends that were right into sort of astrophysics and God knows what. But he had some pretty amazing equipment he had at hand to be able to test a lot of these tools, from interferometer spectrum analyzers, and the list goes on. I mean, when he did all the big tests in Denver, because they had a very bad pollution problem down there, what they call brown cloud, couldn't see more than 5Ks. And what they did, they set up a heap of these harmonizers, just similar to this one here, I think about 20 Ks apart or something, and they ran them for a month and totally cleared the area. They had the EPA, they had physicists, they had military people from the military there. They had all sorts of different scientific backgrounds to witness everything, and they all said, look, it improved it by 80%. That was the water, the soil, and the air. They couldn't explain it because it defied everything they'd learnt in physics, but they could see that it worked. The military didn't want to know about it because they couldn't weaponize it. But yeah, I mean, he had a solution to. Sorry about the dogs. He had a solution to all the sort of pollution issues, and yeah, that pretty much didn't want to know about it.
Yeah,
as we know what the government's all about, So,
well, I don't know if any of my viewers are aware of what the government's about, but hopefully they've just found out for the first time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah. So you run the shop part time. You make it yourself. Have you given it all away now and just committed to doing these things? Like, how do you run?
We've been doing this full time since 2015, I think. Haven't we? Yeah. So it's just grown out of control, pretty much.
Yeah.
To the point where I used to do everything myself, and now we've got a team of about 7 or 8 people. So and we still can't keep up.
Everyone's waking up.
Yeah, it's just snowballed. I mean, people are just waking up in droves, and particularly like in the UK and the US, and a lot's come out, and it's become more mainstream now about the weather modification stuff. They're not hiding it anymore.
People want to heal themselves.
Yeah, still denied. It's still denied here in Australia. They won't tell you they're doing it, but they're doing it. I've been doing it for a long time.
Oh,
But yeah,
well, that's
I
what
think a lot of people are waking up really, really quickly now, and it's just it's gone out of control. But the effects that they're getting from the tools, just from wearing some of the pendants or the bracelets, we're having profound effects on people's health. From pain relief to God knows what. People have had strokes, couldn't poke their tongue out or couldn't lift with their right arm or whatever. As soon as they put on one of there's different ones for different things, of course. And that the Tier 2 Akan, which was developed by Brian Besco, mate of mine in the States, that particular cube, it works very well on brain nervous system, and I've seen people put them on and then suddenly be able to lift things with their arm or poke their tongue, do whatever they couldn't do before. I had a mate who had a stroke, and he left it too long before he went to the hospital. So they basically said, well, not much we can do for you. You're stuck with it. And he was paralysed pretty much down one side of his face, and I said, listen, just trust me and just wear these, put these on. I took some rings in and bracelets and stuff. I said, just keep them on. I don't care if you think I'm nuts, just do it. And within about 2 or 3 days, he started getting the movement back, and he's fully recovered. So, and he's an avid believer now.
I bet you
I mean,
is.
I could tell you so many stories, from people who basically broken their neck and bones all through their body and told they were never going to come out of a coma, to coming out of a coma and up and walking, and defied everything they told. The poor man's fiance had said he was never going to walk again. Just crazy stuff. But I can't guarantee that for everybody. I mean, I'm just witness to see some of these things.
Yeah.
And if you read some of Slim's books, it was the same with him. He's had some amazing things happen. So, and why does it work? I mean, it's all quantum physics. It's all light frequency stuff. So these produce the harmonic frequency of light. You put one over a plant that's dead, and it stands up within hours. It's just crazy.
And I think the thing is too is that there's a lot more. Like I've got your YouTube channel open here. There's a lot more information out there that people, it's almost impossible for them to deny. It's not in the world of things that we pay for these days, and meaning medications and big pharmas and surgeries and radiation treatments and that sort of stuff. The cost of having these devices around is so minuscule. I mean, copper's if there's probably a lot of those new cameras that are going up that probably would be good copper sources, I'd imagine. Not that I invoke damaging things, but I see the ULEZ, the ULEZ brigades over and they knock a lot of them, not a lot of them over there, but like everything's got an equitable exchange as far as I'm concerned, and as long as there's a product there that is particularly handmade in Australia. It's definitely something. But you've got a lot of videos I can see, like here on the YouTube channel too. So that link will be in the description as well. So to give people a little bit of faith. And I feel for whatever reason over the last couple of years as I started my sort of journey waking up or whatever, I feel energy. I can tell you usually what the Schumann resonance is sitting at. I can tell you if there's been a solar flare, almost a class to it. I can tell you whether they've got their synthetic shit turned on. I trained myself and connected myself with it. We turned that thing on the other day at the table, and I don't know what she was running it through, and I had to turn it off because I was just like, I can't focus. I can't have we had 6 people at the table, and they were all like, whoa, wow. Like we just kept looking back at it, and I said, we're going to have to turn it off because it's so strong that I can't even sort of focus what my conversation was. So we had to turn it off. But Leah will she'll turn on things like Tony Sayers. He does a lot of and it puts energetic intent into different soundtracks and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'll walk through the lounge room and I'll say to Leah, "Oh God, my chest is like tight." I was like, "Must be something. Something's going on. There might be a solar flare or something." And she'll be like, I've got Tony's nanotech clearer on or something like that, and I'm like, because she'll have it turned off, but it'll hit me like it'll just hit me in the chest, and I'll be like, oh, righto, well, when it's finished, get it off. But yeah, I really notice it. So
you can even play those through these, and that works like a broadcaster. That'll push that out to about 150 kilometres. So
yeah, and
big
we would
radius.
intend. Yeah, we definitely. Well, we get it, right? I mean, like Leah gets it. She works in the energetic realm where she is the device that's able to to harness that sort of that energetic body. She's the same thing. I mean, she's the node on the network if she's not the tower itself. But but you know what I mean. That's what she's doing. She's operating in those similar frequencies and those similar light paths, I guess, or energetic sort of pathways where people believe, people sort of are trained to believe that they have to be sitting next to someone for it to be doing something.
Yeah.
But like, if we could put a color, if we could colorize EMF, RF, the 5G radio frequencies, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, anything like that, if we could put a color on them, we would be crawling around on the ground like the Pink Panther trying to get the diamond, because there's just no way you would sit there and allow so many interferences come through us. Like we had Cyril Burke from EMF Busters, on the show the other day, and that was a wake up call for a lot of people. Just that with the dirty power, the exposure to all these different sorts of things. So I mean, we've got orgonite on every corner of every property. We've got pyramids and blocks and things on every meter in front of all different types in front of our TV, shungites and different types of shit. So, I mean, what's it hurt?
That's it. 100%.
And sorry,
you want to try going through the airport scanner with one of these in your bag? I tell you what, that lights the machine up, and the whole thing goes bright pink. Just
yeah, right.
They get me to put my bags through about 3 times before finally opening it. Oh, yeah, so one of them has seen it before.
Yeah.
Really
and that's it, right? I mean, it's nature, it's natural. I mean, I've watched some of the shows where they just do the copper coils. We've got a big, massive roll of copper in there. We've been sitting there for years, and this will be the trigger that we need to start actually making some things for the garden to shaping and stuff for the garden.
They work amazing too. Yeah.
The electric gardening.
Gardening. Yeah.
Oh, and this is what started this conversation. You wonderful people donated this to our, real farmer community garden, which is going to, take pride of place over our property to make sure that everything we grow grows in best intent, because we can't even call anything organic anymore with the shit that they start spraying on.
No, that's right. We actually got a couple of farmers up your way, one in Emerald and one just out the other side on the Rubyvale side. Big farmers. They're running these big units now, which is great. So I was rapt to get them out there because there was nothing out that way. So but they all link up. They all talk together once they're all running. They all link up together. So it's great. Yeah. And you're not that far from the tower there either. So from that Doppler radar.
So when Jody first plugged the harmonizer in, we got a big blue patch above.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I walk past it all the time. That gargantuan tower just up the road from us there.
Yeah,
and the difference that they call it, like, it's rant mode for me. Whatever happens when I walk past it, I go on long-winded sarcastic rants for the entire kilometre that I get close to it and go around it, and then my energy dissipates as I get back down to home. And it's funny because they always say, oh man, like, that's, if you want to snip all my videos where I walk every day, snip the part where I walk past that tower, and whatever relationship I have with energy and frequency is at the full-blown tilt there. And that's why I tell people to be careful with voice to skull technology, all of those types of things, because
absolutely,
we sit, we explain this all the time, that it only takes a tiny little battery and a receiver now to receive the vibration of a voice and broadcast it past the part that's not working in the eardrum to give someone the effect of hearing.
Absolutely.
Why would you believe that the world wouldn't be able to simply find that at an AI level, tune down into the individual level, and just broadcast You're a boy, not a girl. You're a boy, not a girl. You're a boy, not a girl.
Exactly.
Kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. You're not worth it. You're not worth it. You're not worth it. Go to work, go to work, go to work. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to know that you were being infiltrated by that frequency level, would you?
And they just put that down as a mental health issue, you know.
And what do? You have more tablets.
That's it.
If it's too, if they don't want you mentally incarcerated. That's like, oh, that's too much. Because people like me feel energy different. Look, I had 10 years of chronic anxiety and panic attacks. And once I actually did the trauma work first so that I could start healing myself, but also started understanding what the energy felt like. Now I wake up on days and realize that was a precursor to a panic attack because I didn't understand what the energy was telling me. And so now that I actually understand roughly sort of how to transmit energy, or at least how to ground it out of me, and explain to people like a power cord that, knots in a power cord will eventually heat up and cause dis-ease in your electrical system.
Absolutely.
I've been able to wind back 90% of my anxious physical response to the problem of the energetic failure of flow. You know what I mean? Like, that's making a massive difference to my life of not waking up in fear of, oh, what do I feel like this for? Why am I buzzing? What's going on with my nerves? And so I try and train that to a lot of people too, to say, it's okay to not be okay. We don't have to understand everything, but at least if you understand that you're not alone, then you're a better chance of getting through a day without having a panic attack or just a social chronic anxiety, lifestyle.
That's it. Yeah, well, we do actually make a few tools that work extremely well on anxiety and depression. Amazingly well. In fact, I've given some to my doctor who is wide awake, and he's given some to some of his really, really bad patients, and had some amazing results with it. So look, it's amazing stuff. And look, the copper itself has its own healing properties anyway. We know it's got an anti-inflammatory agent within it and all that type of thing. But then there's a whole nother level when you start talking the energetics of this stuff, So it's not just the copper that's doing it. So the old fellas used to wear that bit of copper around their wrists or something, but these, which is good, but that these are whole next level stuff.
Yeah. For people out there that have nothing at the moment, that are just starting to dip into the world, obviously there is a cost to it. We don't want to go and buy. You don't want to go and buy everything. Is there a pack that you would start with? Is it wearables? Is it you protect your house first?
Well,
what would you sort of say to people tipping their toes?
I'll say to them, what seems to be your main problem? Is there a particular health issue, or is there what's your main concern? And that's where I'd start. And look, I just say to anyone who wants to try it first time, try a bracelet. That's a cheap option to basically start feeling the energy straight away, or one of these little phone buddy things you stick on the back of your phone, and that cuts out the radiation, transmutes the radiation that's coming out of your phone. So if you're on the phone for a while, any length of time, the phone starts to get warm. Well, it doesn't happen once that's on there. It doesn't get hot. People notice this straight away. But look, there's so many tests I can do. If I have someone there in front of me, I can show them. But of course, I can understand people having a hard time trying to believe some of this stuff.
That's what I do. That's what I do this for, Rod. Like I live my life as a Truman show for everybody to watch and see, and nothing I ask people to do that I don't do myself. And so the best result we've had with our videos is if you come up this way, and I'll come out and we'll come out to the Gemmies or whatever and meet you out there. Then we'll actually grab some real products and do some real testing and show some real results, right? Because I mean, and like I said, I've got a discount code for your shop running down the bottom, but as per usual, what I tell the people is that I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I don't take any benefit from the sales that go through. I mean, obviously, you were kind enough to donate this, and it's quite expensive in your shop for the Real Farmer Group, but we make sure that that we aren't just out there promoting things that we personally get financial benefit out of. We believe in products, therefore we promote the opportunity for people to have them. And again, it's completely up to their choice, their situation, their finances, whether or not they can or can't partake. Come here. Want to say hello?
Yeah, that's right.
Come up here. Come and say hello. Yeah. But yeah, that would be great if we could. Sorry, my big fella's just deciding what he wants to say. Look at the head on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
dogs love the energy too.
He's cute.
Oh, they do. Yeah, he's only a couple of years old, and he was struggling with arthritis. We presume it was arthritis or something. Like his joints were hard and sore. He couldn't walk.
Yeah.
He couldn't walk with me. Couldn't run. And he was sprinting down the driveway the other day. I mean, sprinting to keep up with the car. And you could just see that in his mind. You could just see the enjoyment of running at full tilt. And because I'd stopped taking him for walks at like 2 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and now that we have so much more of this sort of energetic stuff, we changed a bit of their food. Obviously, we've got massive filtrations. For everything we have for energy, water, all that sort of stuff too. So it's definitely made a massive difference, without having to supplement them, because like I said, the system doesn't care. You can either be a supplementer, going to their stores and buying all the supplements, or you can be a medicated person who's ignored your body until you needed to be, it's broken. They don't care. As long as you're spending the money and you're living in just enough ability to get up and go to work every day, and not have enough spare time or mental clarity to think critically, they don't care, right? And I can tell you that my body's been the same. I've been to the gym more times in the last month than I've been in the last 2 years, from sort of starting to have that feeling of my body starting to come back to, like, not just saying, oh, it's a chore. I actually like wake up going, oh, today I want to work this or something. So, and I definitely put it down to a lot of this stuff. Like, this energetic work is just amazing results all around. Now, so is there anything else? Obviously, like I said, we've got the shop and that up there. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It is a beautiful day to be sort of sitting around under a shed, and we're all busy as it was. Is there anything else would you like to talk about, mate?
Look, I mean, if anyone has any questions, they can always email Rachel or message her through the Facebook page or wherever. There's so many products. I mean, there's just so many different things that they work on, and there's practitioner range of tools for people who work on in healing and stuff too. There's a lot. So, and it's a hell of a lot to take in just in a few minutes. But yeah, look, there's if anyone has any questions or whatever, they can certainly message her, and we'll
know about the support group we have with the harmonisers.
Oh, we have a support group too with the harmonisers that they can.
They own them.
Anyone who owns one of these, jump in that group, and everyone will help you. Even if it comes down to what frequency should I be running today, we'll send us a picture of your sky, and I'll tell you what to run, type of thing. So yeah. I mean, they're forever changing what they're firing at us, so we have to do the same sometimes, unfortunately. But it's a bit of a battle.
And this is the thing too. We're obsessed. The world is now obsessed with videoing the effects in our sky. It'd be really good for people to start testing these things as well, and videoing the results of what the sky looked like before it, and then see if we can get consistency with what the sky looks like after them, right? Because that's also the evidence we want to see in those YouTube channels. And so there's a lot of videos in that YouTube stuff, but feel free to send it through to me. If you are out there, filming your sky and seeing those next rad sort of frequencies, EMF pulses, that Wi-Fi symbology that you see that looks like sort of Wi-Fi through the clouds itself, looks like a Wi-Fi symbol, or just your normal, just your normal Homo mutatus, as they classified it last year. They said it wasn't anything other than a contrail, and now all of a sudden they've got 12 new classifications to shut up us conspiracy theorists. But these are real things that I believe, make a real difference in dispersing a lot of this shit, because what are you going to do? You're going to go and, break into the airport where you believe, the commercial airlines are doing it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that we've got the capacity or the brain power to keep it silent. I believe that it's either in the fuel, or more than likely, I show on my show plenty of times the ground-based atmospheric sort of injection from the superheating, or you've got things like Elon Musk has had over 1,000 of his satellites burn back up in the stratosphere, where the stratospheric aerosol injections are supposed to be. When it burns up, 1,200 kilos per unit atomizes at aluminium, as an aluminium. So, that nobody looks into that sort of side of it, because that's just science doing its thing. But 1,200 kilos of 1,000 of them getting burnt up into our stratosphere is a pretty good way to have stratosphere aerosol injection of heavy metals, isn't it?
100%. But I tell you that I do believe that they put it in the fuel. In fact, I do know that there's stuff in the fuel. But
yes,
that's not just it. I mean, they spray it, and I've filmed them turn it on, turn it off, and I mean,
absolutely.
90% of the time I've got a blue hole above our place. So they come across and they go and turn it off. So they're intentionally going across the top of me, even if they've got to divert their path slightly to drop a line just over the top of me.
I show the cobwebs. I show the cobwebs in front of our sun here. The spider webbing in front of our sun is unbelievable. And you can take a picture of their patents and read their patents at the same time as looking at it and going, if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, quacks like a duck, it probably is a fucking duck.
That's it. And
look, the Rainmaking Control Act, for people out there that are just waking up to this, like the Rainmaking Control Act was put together in 1967, became legislation in this country. That shows you just how long it's been since since we've been doing that. I did not have my comments over, so what a pain in the ass. Robert Ennis said, "What do bracelets do for psychopaths?" Well, we can get the tight ones that you can wrap around the neck with a dog chain, I guess. Give it a good yank every now and again and hook it up to some sort of power supply.
Anyone who's got any negative energy tends to run a mile from this stuff. So that's which is an interesting
absolutely.
Point AccuVac at the side.
You point an AccuVac negative end at them, and that sorts them out pretty quick. But
cool.
Look,
and go for it. Sorry.
It's quite amazing. I'm talking about that ChemWeb stuff. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, see that's a contrail," because see how it's fading out. You'll find that that's nearly always a ChemWeb plane. So those ones that got that fake trail behind it fades out. That's ChemWeb. As soon as it gets dark, the moisture, they radiate it, of course, and the moisture sticks to that stuff, and you wake up to a blanket of cloud. So it's exactly what it is.
It took a while for me. Like I think 3 years ago, Leah sort of started talking about like this, and I'm like, babe, I'm just learning some stuff. This is too far for me. It was too much of a stretch. And she said, I didn't think you were ready for it. And about 6 months later, I'm out there going, but that's why I gave up drinking too. It was part of my goal to give up drinking, because I was literally standing there one day, sitting out here having beers, pointing at the sky doing these ones, and I was complaining, and I sort of went, well, hang on. Part of my journey was, what do I actually actively put poison into my body? Why, or what is it? And what is my body actually asking for? And so I never gave up alcohol. I didn't give up excess coffee. I didn't give up caffeinated soda. I just listened to my body and said, what do you really want? And it's like, water. And I'm like, okay. And so I started giving it more water, or giving it more of what it wanted. And then I felt less inclined to need the other things that I used to do with it. So people think that I'm anti supplements. I'm not. I'm just more in tune with actually listening to my body, and instead of ignoring it and taking a feel.
We just got an earthquake.
The whole house just.
We just got an earthquake.
Really?
Yeah. The whole thing just shook.
I just watched a bloke this morning saying that we are so close to having monstrous earthquakes. The planet is absolutely, radiation belt is full tilt. Solar winds are at off scale, and the rest of the world's been having them just punching through. So is it still rumbling, or?
No, it stopped now.
No,
but probably
just real quick shake.
Yeah, that's just
the whole house shook.
The whole house shook. Your phone was going.
Yeah, I was about ready to run out from under the veranda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
right.
interesting.
Something's happening in the universe, I can tell you that. And Mother Nature,
Oh, for sure.
Mother Nature is doing her thing. And the more we can tap into it, the more healing we can do, the less negative energy and negative frequencies. And what do we do with electricity? We keep it off the ground? Where does it want to try and get to? It wants to try and get to ground. So we control it and harness it. And what do? They give us 2-inch thick rubber soles. They keep us on concrete floors inside of office buildings, away from sunlight and earth, and particularly away from gardens and soil. And wonder why we.
I found it in Gympie.
Yeah, unreal.
They found it in Gympie.
Oh dear.
Whereabouts? Where are you based? Somewhere down that
Harvey Bay.
Yeah, Harvey Bay. They
Harvey
found
Bay.
it in Gympie as well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully we felt a low shock. Probably, probably only be a 4 or something if you could only feel it for a little bit. But hopefully it's not inside of our barrier reef protection, so we don't get a wave or something.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, I'll leave it at that. Just for the record, I don't ever wear jewelry. All right, around my neck. Maybe years ago, I picked that up the other day. I think I was telling you, Rachel. I picked that up the other day, and I put it in my hand. And the first thing my body said was, "Put it on." And I listened to my inner voice, and it said, "Put it on." And I put it on, and I've been wearing it every day since. And it feels like I've worn it for 100 years.
That's awesome.
And I never wear it, But even just the whatever,
if you wear that
on the neck,
yeah, if you wear that at the gym, you'll notice a big difference too.
Yeah.
Not only in what you're lifting, but also in your recovery.
Yeah. I definitely noticed the recovery side of it. But anyway, that was just a food for thought. Is that even people like me who do detest wearing things hanging around my neck, I haven't taken it off. I take it off when I sleep because I'm a tosser and turner.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, not that sort out there for all you people that went to that dark place in your mind.
Very restless.
All right. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you when you come up. Thank you so much for the donation for the Real Farmer group. Obviously, everybody out there, there'll be the website that you can go to. There's the shop you go to. The discount code is capital letter welcome 20 with no space. If you want to go and buy some of the products, again, I don't take any benefit from those purchases. So we send people in the direction of making your own decision, using your own discernment, and choose what's right for you. And these, obviously, like I said, Australian.
They will get a discount.
That's right. But Australian-made product, good people trying to make a difference is what we're sort of trying to promote here under the spiritual, physical, intellectual, financial, and emotional sort of pillars to get back some balance in our life and some self-governing, self-accountability. And so, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know it was a bit of a rush for you at the end there, but we got there. And we did what we wanted to do, which was give people some options out there rather than just keep taking the pharma pills for every time you have an ailment that they probably caused in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate.
All good. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks very much for jumping on, and we'll talk when you're up here, eh? We'll see what I'm looking at. Is
will do.
Awesome.
See ya.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right. Stream.